What's up, everybody? Rob here, back with another edition of Wasting Wildcards here on Multi5. This week I got something pretty spicy, quite literally. I'm playing some Mardu aggro in Standard. I'm playing Best of One, and we're going through a league. It's a pretty big week for Best of One. We got the first ever Mythic Invitational, where they're playing Duo Standard, which is kind of a weird best 2 out of 3 best of 1 format. And yeah, so I am playing this. It's kind of straightforward, but it can do some cool stuff. So essentially it's just a Mardu aggro deck, but it's really taking advantage of Hero of Precinct One, the ability to kind of go super wide with the tokens that the hero creates. Basically anytime something like Fireblade Artist, Footlight Fiend, Judith, Tajik, even Heroic Reinforcements. Basically, you're going to get a ton of tokens, a ton of value. So ways to take advantage of that. Heroic Reinforcements is probably the most obvious. So when you play Heroic Reinforcements, instead of getting 2 +1/+1 tokens, you're getting 3 with the addition of the cast trigger on hero. And that's 6 power with 1 spell, and they all have haste, which is huge. There's some fun stuff with Gutter Bones and Priest of the Forgotten Gods, where you can just basically sack a couple of Gutter Bones, bring them back from your graveyard in the same turn with the mana you create, draw a card, your opponent loses some life. It's just a whole bunch of value. You can also take advantage of Priest of the Forgotten Gods with Hero again. So you have all these tokens laying around. A bunch of 1/1s isn't really going to accomplish much, so why not sacrifice them for value? Let's see what else we got here. The removal suite is kind of straightforward. We got 3 Mortify, which is kind of a catch-all in the current Standard format, and it's also multicolored, so once again, triggers hero. And I have 1 Bedevil, just in case we have a problematic Planeswalker or an artifact or something like that, just a one-of kind of catch-all removal spell. Also, go to Heroic, or Hero, not Heroic. What else? And we got 1 Cast Down. Just something cheap, instant, gets the job done. What else do we got in here? We got a 1-of Carnival Carnage, just a little 1-mana instant pinger. It's good against mono blue. Against control, Carnage comes in handy, and also 1 Angrath, really good against, again, something like mono blue. The -3 is really good, and the +1 is just a control killer. So yeah, as you know from this channel, I am basically a free-to-play grinder in this game, so everything that you see in these decks are things that I either opened out of packs or I crafted with wildcards, all of which just earned by grinding, doing these events, and just trying to increase my collection as much as possible in the cheapest possible way. So that's why you're wondering why I'm only playing 2 Judith, whereas this deck would probably want 3 or even 4, because Judith is one of the most powerful cards in this deck. And down here you'll see I have 4 Garlus Shrine, 4 Sacred Foundry, but only 3 Blood Crypt. That is because, once again, I just need some more of those sweet rare wild cards. Up here you'll see I have a Mythic rare wild card, but if you play a lot of Arena, you know it seems like you always kind of end up with the Mythic rare wild cards, and you really want the rare ones. Yeah, so let's get going. Let's see how this thing plays. So I played this in a best of 3 tournament earlier in the day and did pretty good. So let's see how the sideboardless version stands up to the best of 1 meta. This seems pretty good. We have a turn 1 Footlight Fiend into a turn 2 Hero into a turn 3 Vanguard Fiend. And that's just if we don't draw anything. And our mana base is looking pretty good. We have all 3 colors. We're going to have to take some pain on turn 1, but after that, we're looking pretty good. So this seems like a good keep. So Footlight Fiend, kind of underwhelming on the surface, just a 1/1, but in this deck specifically, it triggers Hero, so you get some more tokens. When it dies, it does 1 damage, which comes in handy against things like mono blue, mono red. And with something like Judith, when it dies, it basically does 2 damage to something. So it's It's kind of a little workhorse in this deck, but it's not bad. Maybe you'll get to see it in action if this is mono red. So here we'll get in for 1. So our opponent clearly has some kind of instant in their hand they can play, whether that's a Shivan Fire or a Shock. We may find out, or they may be... Well, okay. So still get 1 point of damage in. So here, I'm tempted to just play the hero and then this to get some tokens, but against mono red, I feel like playing the Vanguard here just because it's going to be a lot harder for them to kill. And if we can get them to waste a couple burn spells, that would be pretty sweet. This card is much better in the control matchups because taking the 4 damage against burn, you're not saving that much value because the goal of their deck is to get you down as fast as possible. So here they're using 2 mana. I'm gonna take the 4 damage because we're gonna only lose 1 life more than this to our face would. And next turn, we're going to have the ability to bash in. So now, we can go hero, footlight, attack with the Vanguard. So if they have a Goblin Chain Whirler, that'll be pretty annoying. But even then, not the worst. I feel like they're probably going to burn out the hero because this card can easily take over the game. And they don't want that to happen. Also looks like our opponent might be stuck on mana, which would be... Okay. I think I'm just going to take another 4 here. So basically we're at 10, whereas we would only be... Took 2 lightning strikes, we'd be at like 14. So we're a little lower because we also took the shock from this. But I mean, our opponent is lower. So let's see. We play the hero here. There's no real downside. They're only on 2 mana still, so they're gonna have to use a burn spell on it. Goblin Chain Whirler would take out 3 of our creatures here. I could pay the additional 3 or the 4 life for this, but I think at this point I'd probably just... What do I do here? Do I go to 6? He's tapped out. I think I go to 6 here because if we have a bunch of live draws basically. A removal spell is fantastic here to get this off the board, and then we basically alpha strike in for the win. A heroic reinforcements would also pretty much be a win. Even an Angrath would pretty much be a win here. All right, well, another hero, I guess. All right, well. So I get attack into the Vanguard. If they block... this is rough. The 5 is a little lower than I want it to be. Why did that hero have to be a hero? So, yeah, that's what we're going to pass and hope they don't just have double burn here. Which they probably do. Mono red tends to have the double burn. So stacking Hero Precinct Ones is usually pretty sweet, but you kind of need the payoffs. If you just keep going hero, 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 as you can see, there's no 1/1s here, and that's kind of a bummer. So our opponent might just have a couple creatures, maybe a couple experimental frenzies, or if they're playing... All right, so we're definitely going to let that die here. So what we really want is heroic reinforcements. A heroic reinforcements is... okay, Okay, that's not heroic reinforcements, but... So if I attacked with everything here, they'd go to 4. We're still going to hold out. Yeah, so a heroic reinforcements, we'd have 9 power here. They would create 3. That would be another 6. That's 15 plus the 2 that the heroic reinforcements makes. So it's like 19, 20. Basically, it's an unbelievable amount of damage. Okay, so our opponent's playing goblins. No, they're not playing the traditional burn deck here. Ugh. So I think I have to priest here. I really need to draw something that's helpful. At this point, I'm not too concerned with my opponent discarding anything because it's not the most relevant text on the card, and that is the least relevant of draws for us. So at least we get the gutter bones back. Let's keep this in our hand, make them think we have something. No attacks, we need to stay alive. Oh, so once again, we are pretty dead to burn here. It's a bummer. We've had so many outs in this game, and just the curse of the mana. The curse of the monocolored spells. So right now, something like Footlight Fiend would be pretty great. We would get 2 creatures. We could then sack the Fiends, do 2 damage from the Devil. They would have to sack a creature. There's a whole bunch of little silly things we can do with the Priest here. So they're going to get in for 1 for sure, which is fine. Man, heroic reinforcements would be so insane right now. Come on, multicolored spell, come on. Mortify would be pretty great. Oh my god. Come on. So we're going to main phase Priest again. So right now they have a burn and they can take out something. All right. So I mean, if they keep drawing nothing, we have a very slow clock here. Come on. Oh my god. Did we do it? Okay, so let's do some math here. We're going to get 4 tokens. Unless our opponent's just straight up trolling us. So... can we just slam? Come on, opponent. Don't do this to me. So... I think... I mean, I guess our opponent could have, like, a fiery cannonade, which would be insane and good for them. I can't tell our opponent is trolling us. Slow rolling us. Just being a dick and making the clock run. Electro Dominance does 1 damage. Whew, man. All right, well, we got there. I'm going to say I don't really think we should have. Our opponent was drawing more dead than we were. If that was traditional burn, I don't think there was a chance in hell we would have made it through there, but luckily Tin Street Dodgers and little 1/1 goblins wasn't exactly what we needed. Okay, so here we have this is a pretty decent hand. We got turn 2 Fireblade Artist, turn 3 Priest, potentially Mortify or Tajik if we draw into some white. We are on the draw, so our chance of getting the mana we need is going to go up. Let's say we keep this. The dream draw here would be something like a Gutter Bones, just so we can attack for 4 on the next turn. Okay, mono white. I guess I probably should have played the Dragon Skull Summit there in case we got like a Godless Shrine or something like that, because we really would want like a hero out on turn 2. Okay. So our opponent is live to flip their landing next turn. Ugh. I guess I'm not really super punished for that. So get our hero online. It's pretty safe. They could tribunal it, but they're going to attack right now with everything to flip their landing. Okay. So here we have a couple moves. What we should do is probably Mortify the history. And then next turn, we could hero Fireblade and get a bunch of tokens for blockers. So yeah, let's do that. Basically, our deck essentially wants to go wider than our opponent and do so in a little more aggressive of a way, so we don't want their board advancing any further than it already is. And block one here. Trade with hero is tempting, but good. Alright, so play second hero. Fireblade. Get 2 tokens. Alright, we're going to hold back. Banalish Marshal is very annoying. I think we block. Block and take 6. Yeah, this game is not looking great for us. Those Dantos are pretty ridiculous. So let's see, the best chance we got here is to lose, I think. Next turn, they're going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4 with 5 creatures. I'll be able to block 4 of them, but they're all going to have to trade down, which is a bummer. Yeah, that's... Instead of playing it out, I'm just going to go on to the next one. Getting out aggroed by the aggro. So yeah, White Weenie is probably a pretty bad matchup for us. I think we could do okay depending on our draws. Something like Footlight Fiend and Judith is very good because we can ping their cheap stuff. Something with a lot of removals, obviously good. Angrath is actually probably pretty good. I think this is a keep. We got a turn 1 into turn 2. Worst case, we have a turn 3 Fireblade Artist. We're still attacking that turn. All right, so we're going to play Footlight, pass the turn, see what our opponent's up to. Drowned Catacomb. All right, so we might be up against Esper, maybe some Dimir stuff. I'm just going to go Painless here. Although if we're playing against Control, the pain doesn't really matter all that much. So I like that they play that first. Yeah, they got the crappy Control turn. Okay, this is good. So we're going to play this tapped. Play another Fireblade, get in for 5. Another fun interaction this deck has is the upkeep trigger from Fireblade. If you're just kind of in a board stall, you can sack something like Footlight Fiend. And if you have Judith on the battlefield, you're doing 2 from this, 1 from this, and 1 from the Judith. So you're doing 4 damage just by sacking 1 creature. Not the most common of occurrences, but, you know, it gets the job done. All right, so definitely up against Esper. Putting a land in the graveyard. Okay. This seems good. All right, so while our opponent's tapped out, we're going to make them discard 2 cards. And we're going to bring them down to 4 life here. So, not the best draw, but it was still a pretty good draw. Heroic Reinforcements there would have won us the game. But, you know, making our opponent work for this. Here they might have a Kai's Wrath. Or actually, they can't even cast Kai's Wrath. So, I mean, they could have a single removal spell with only 1 black mana. They discarded this and this, which seems dumb. Okay, they can kill our Footlight here.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
Can't gain me. Okay. Interesting. Weird choice to discard your black sources in a deck that is 90% removal, and playing against a deck where your removal is literally the only thing that'll help you. I do like seeing Kaya showing up in more and more lists, even in Modern. That card is pretty sweet. All right, well, this has the potential of being a freaking awesome opening. So we got, it's going to be painful, so hopefully we're not playing as mono red, but Gutter Bones into a Danto. And if we draw any lands, we have a Judith, and stuff's going to get silly, so we're going to keep this. Pay 2, play Gutter Bones. So a good draw here would be land, obviously. Something like a hero. Tajik ain't bad. All right, so we're just going to attack first. This is a trade we'll definitely take. Okay, sweet. So here we're going to... against mono red. I wonder if just playing Footlight Fiend would be the smart play here. Save the 2 life. Let's do that. This way, if they have something with haste, we can block and ping. So against mono red, you basically want them to use all of the resources on everything but your face. So if there's ever a chance to offer a trade, you should do it. Okay, so gonna get into the artist. They have to block that way. If they attack into the lava runner, even if it's a 2/2, we'll have a block that will kill it. A chain whirler here, of course, would be kind of a bummer. We're just gonna get 1 damage off of this, but Pyromancer? Okay. It's 2 damage, but it could be worse. Okay. So I'm at 13, they're at 18. Let's just try to out-aggro them. So I'm definitely not going to start paying the 4 life for the Vanguard, but it will trade nicely with the Pyromancer. They could play like a Chain Whirler or their first main phase, but then our Footlight Fiend will just ping their Pyromancer and they're only going to be able to attack for 2. Okay, interesting. But again, that's saving us 2 life. So now we go to 9. Potentially lower with a burn spell. So mono red and mono white seem like, interesting move on our opponent's part. Okay, so kind of a bummer. Could definitely use some land. Seems like our opponent has all the land. Ugh. Please, please let us get a land. If we could mortify next turn, that would be huge. Oh, come on. I think our chances to win this game are much, much lower. Come on, draw 2 experimental frenzies in a row. That is the opposite of that. Come on, land. Come on, land on top. Yeah, we're just dead to any burn spell here. Yeah, not drawing... What was that? 1, 2, 3? Do we live for 1 more turn? No, that's going to make much of a difference. Even our Mortify here is not. So we block here. I guess it doesn't matter. We block here and then kill this, or we block here and then do 1 damage. Either way, they're getting 2 damage in. And that's it. So with something like mono white and mono red clearly being our bad matchups, I wonder if something like maybe a Moment of Craving or 2 over the cast down would be a smart idea. It kills pretty much everything in the decks. That 2 life definitely comes in handy. Here, we definitely... There's some decent stuff, but again, I don't want to be waiting for our 3rd piece of mana. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I don't want to mull to 5, even though that is the name of our YouTube channel. So I'm going to keep this just because we have all 3 colors of land. And if we draw, pretty much anything is a good draw at this point. Sure. It's kind of a non-bow with a Tajik, but it's something we can play. Pretty good with Judy here. All right, vampires. Hopefully we don't lose to a meme deck. So, Adanto Vanguard, also vampire, a notoriously bad blocker. Okay. Gonna have some life gain action going on, I see. Oh, this is probably a bad matchup for us too. Surprisingly. so we can... That's... I don't know if that was what I wanted to do. But here we can apply pressure. I will gladly offer that trade with anything. Next turn, if they attack with everything, we attack for 8. These are not, you know, the ideal follow-ups, so I'm going to be very fast and loose with this Tajik. Okay. I think we're going to get memed out here. This is a huge bummer. So something to take care of that Pride Mate would be pretty good. Oh my good God. Do I really have to go on the defensive here? This is sad. Not like this. I had such high hopes for this deck. Okay, so our opponent's basically out of cards here. I can trade up with the Pride Mate. So this dies. So if I kill both of these, I can ping the lieutenant to death. But I probably want to do this instead. That is not what I wanted to draw. Okay, so... play another Tajik. Doesn't really do anything better than this. It's just going to block that stupid friggin' 3/3 in the air is actually a problem. It's a very quick clock. Especially if they draw something else. Okay, playing conservatively. See, if I was our opponent, I would also get in with the Pride Mate because to do anything of value, I'd have to double block here. I really don't want my Judith to die. I mean, I guess there's not much better I can do. But got that one done. At the beginning of each upkeep, you lost life. So I'm not going to attack. It's going to stay at 2/2. We really need to get something to take care of this Sky Marsh Bloodletter. We're going to lose in 2 turns. Guess we'll play this. Play Gutter Bones. These are just basically 3/2s that do nothing, so we'll save those in case we can turn this around. Well, great. Now we have 2 cards we absolutely need to take care of. Decline. And yeah, that's going to be... well, there you have it, people. Sweet Mardu aggro deck getting memed out by vampires. Do we get any rares at least? Ooh, come on. Give me Stomping Ground. That's what I need. Okay. That's... Oh, alright, cool. What could you even, like... You're putting 8 mana into this thing. What are you trying to cast for more than 8 mana? Tight. Okay. So, yeah, that was the Mardu deck. Kind of underwhelming. Just for funsies, let's bring it to a best 2 out of 3 ranked. Let's ruin my constructed rank. You know, there's 4 days left in the season. I only have, like, a fraction of the way to go before getting to Mythic. Let's lose to a Platinum player right now, and let's get this baby down. All right, so we're going to play first. We're going to keep this. We're going to hope for a sweet 2-drop. If we can draw a Hero of Precinct One, this hand is bananas. All right, some Gruul going on. Okay, some Naya going on. So this is probably like Naya Angels. That's kind of the only Naya deck I've seen running around. A lot of like good stuff. All right, so play that tapped, get her for 2. Then we got a Baboom, a Baboom. All right, so you got like a Goblin here, maybe. Yeah. Probably gonna make it a 3/3. So here we can go to Jeek and just kind of suicide our way right in there, which I think might not be the worst idea. I have learned with this deck, you really want to be the proactive player. Being so light on removal, being reactive is kind of not where you want to be. Alright, so we already got our opponent down to 13. Next turn, we can Heroic Reinforcements. They might have like an Angel or something here. Okay. That is fine with me. Maybe is a 2/2 if they have a 1-drop here? Nope. Alright, so let's go Mountain, keep it painless, Heroic. Once again, just bad blocks for our opponent. So they're going to have 4 mana. What's the best 4 mana thing a tokens player can do? It's not big enough for Tristani yet. Can't kicker like a Sapling Migration. All right, that's a pretty good draw. So let's bash. Oh, what if they have a Settle the Wreckage? What if they have a Settle the Wreckage? Forgot some of these tokens decks play the cheeky Settle the Wreckage. And I have gone face first into that far too many times. So they could instant speed make tokens right now, which I guess is probably what they're going to do. Smart. Smart. Forgot about March being an instant. Okay, that was good play, good play. If we had attacked with everything, they would have had 3 blockers. We only would have got in at most like 1 damage. So not the worst cautious play. These have lifelink, which is a bummer. I was going to say we do have like the Fire Blade sacking this on the upkeep. The Wambo combo. Okay, our opponent is playing some weird stuff. Not thinking the black is the way to go and thinking the green's the way to go. So I bet our opponent is also definitely playing something like Heroic Reinforcements. If they're playing Hero. That's a kind of fun interaction. Flower doing that. So they'll probably attack with the lifelink things. This Shana is probably going to stay back to block. So do I want to do 3 damage to our opponent? Bring him to 1? I could also do 2 damage to them. Get rid of one of their life-linking creatures, which are potentially a problem. Do I bring him to 1? Make him scared? Or do I just try to keep my life up? Let's get rid of one of their lifelink creatures. I have no idea what my opponent is playing, so this is kind of interesting. Okay, so they have 5 blockers now. Next turn, they can gain 5 life. That's annoying. Tajik is not the worst. Oh man, this escalated quickly. Well, one fun thing I do in this deck that would be good against our opponent here is play Deafening Clarions, because it basically, if I have a Tajik out, you're losing 1 creature and they're losing all of theirs. So that's the fun stuff. So they gain 5 life here. I'm gonna give him first strike. Block here. And here, I guess. And take almost lethal. What's that? Unbreakable formation or something like that? We just get fully blown out. Okay, wow, our opponent is playing the spiciest of Naya decks right now. Alright, well, not gonna lie, I have no idea what my opponent was doing, so don't mind me here. So, Priest is probably too slow. Removal is good. Bellhaunt, Deafening Clarion, only 1. Adonto, fine. Cast down. That's a lot of removal. I don't know if I need that much removal. Ingrass probably too slow. Maybe you go down. Bedevil. Let's try that. So, Hero of Precinct One Naya, that is spicy. Especially running Collision Colossuses and All right, well, I like it. I mean, I respect it. A fellow Hero of Precinct One fan. Gross. So we're definitely mulliganing there. We do get a scry, and if we can scry into a white mana, this would be pretty good. Got a turn 1 footlight. I think we keep... Sweet. Okay. So we really need to get our presence out quick. A Tajik or a Judith would be probably our best draws right now. Take that back. That's still fine. Now we just need to get our lands. So if we can go runner on heroic reinforcements, we're going to be able to do a ton of damage. Good old Baffling End. I mean, we can mortify this potentially, get ourselves a 3-3, but I don't think that's really where we want to be. All right, well. Let's see if the back-to-back reinforcements can do the job. Seems like kind of the worst block for them, but... Okay. All right, so they have potentially 2, maybe 3 blockers with the right token maker. I think we just bash in again. They have a Shana that's a 4/4, but basically, if any of their other stuff dies, it's just going to get smaller and eventually die as well. So, all right, that's pretty smart. This will become a 3/3, so it's not going to die. Okay. Okay. This is actually an incredibly good draw. So unless they have a way to exile our 1/1, we can hopefully do our final bit of damage here. I don't think they have any way to gain life instantly. They can March of the Multitudes if I chose to attack with the Footlight Fiend. And then it would basically just be a wash. They would gain 1 life, and then I would do 1 life. Yeah, so basically their best... Okay, So I guess they did not have a march in their hand. So we are on the play. So I think we kind of sideboarded for more on the play anyway. So run it back. See how we do. But yeah, it's 4 days to the end of the season. I am not platinum, I am diamond 3. So I might try to grind my way up to mythic, see what happens. Maybe I luck out, get top 1000, live the dream. Probably not going to happen. This Mardu deck is kind of just a spicy little brew I've been playing around with. It is not the most competitive, as you saw me get wrecked by a friggin' Vampires deck, but it's real fun. My best of 1 deck of choice is actually a Jeskai control build. Right now, the Jeskai control deck was usually pretty weak to like Esper control or Dimir, but those decks right now are playing like 90% creature removal, which is not great against a control deck, and my plan is kind of go wide and do it up. Okay, so I think we keep this. Early creature play, early removal for a problematic creature. We'll probably, yep, turn 1 flower, that's fine. So our opponent here is never gonna be short on the lands, it looks like. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that before it gets out of hand. We really want to just keep our opponent off of going wider than us. That's annoying. So, I mean, we could just bash in, offer a trade, but that kind of seems good for our opponent. So let's try to build up a board here where we can then attack with a couple good bodies and heroic reinforcements and just try to alpha strike our opponent out. Kind of like they're doing right now. So they're coming in for 10. Gross. I can't really do anything there. Alright, well, I get heroic reinforcements here. Defensively. So next turn, these things are going to be 4/3s. They're definitely not going to block if I attack right now. Yep, nothing more sad than a defensive heroic reinforcements. Alright, well, turns out Naya tokens is a pretty bad matchup for us as well. I'm not sure what the good matchups are against this deck, but... Alright, so that's probably another haster. What can we do here that's good for us? So this way we go to 4. So we go to 2. So we go to 5. I think this is what we do. Gross. Yep, so that heroic reinforcements on our opponent's part sure was good. I think they got us. They definitely got us. Bummer. Going back down the rank. Okay, well, thanks for watching Wasting Wildcards. As you can see, the name really earned its name this time, where I, wasted some wildcards in here. So you can see the deck has some potential. It can do some pretty cool stuff when it works. I think getting the full playset of Judith is going to be pretty key, because being able to use the death of your creatures to your benefit is very, very important. Stuff like Sacking Footlight Fiend and Gutter Bones, the stuff like Artist and Priest is very powerful. Yeah, I mean, it just seems a little weak to the go wide in the burn decks. So I don't know what you can really do against that. I think the Deafening Clarions in the sideboard are pretty good there. If there's any way to kind of add like Incidental Light Gain, so like something like a Moment of Craving, I think might be cool. But yeah, for now, this is the deck I played. I had some fun. Didn't win too many matches, but there's definitely something here. And I just think the combination of like Heroic Reinforcements, and Judith is something that maybe it's just missing a couple pieces, but it's really freaking fun, and it can do some really powerful stuff. So I'm going to keep my eye out for it. And thank you guys for watching this edition of Wasting Wildcards. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe. If you have any decks you'd like me to play on Wasting Wildcards or any of our modern videos, just leave us a comment or send us an email at mull25@gmail.com. Thanks.